Alrighty, we're gonna head outside. So it seems Sephiroth has come in. Or at least it appears as though, we'll say, that Sephiroth has come and murdered the president. So in one fell swoop, Sephiroth was able to beat our adversary that had been one step ahead of us this whole time. So, if you're not familiar with the story, at this point, you're questioning whether Sephiroth is a good guy. Feeling a little bit of a mystery. Something that was pretty much tossed in the trash can for the remake. And we have the president's son, Rufus, show up. He's going to be taking over the Shinra company from this point on. And he kind of ends up being the villain for some part of the game at this point. Alrighty, so at this point we have control of Aeris, Barett, and Red 13. So the game gives us the option to remove all their material, although I'm pretty sure you can just exchange loadouts like so, but we can just remove it. We're going to take advantage of the elemental material that we just picked up. And Red 13 can be our healer. Barett can have the cover materia. We don't need to steal anything, so we'll leave these material on the shelf, and that looks good. We won't need group targeting. So actually, yeah, second guessing myself. We will load all of the green materia. No, never mind, I just changed my mind. I thought about moving this fire material over to Aeris to increase her magic stat, but give Red 13 something to do when he's not healing. You'll see. The next boss is out of range, so you cannot attack with Red 13. You have to use magic. Barett will still be able to attack it, and he will have the elemental materia equipped on his weapon, so his physical damage will be the lightning element. This is actually a pretty cool boss fight. Although I'm wondering if Barett can actually outdamage himself by just casting lightning. Yeah, you actually can. Limit breaks are all long range, so limit breaks are not affected by enemies being out of range, even if you're using a character that doesn't have a long range attack. Easy money, like most of the early game boss fights. Just spam all your best attacks. Throw a cure every once in a while. This was a boss in the remake called the Heli Gunner. I think they called it the 100 Gunner in the remake. Now the only way that Barett can outdamage his magic attack is if he can land a critical hit. But that's unlikely. This early in the game it's not really, you can't really boost the luck stat this early in the game. The luck stat is what your criticals are based on. You can't really do that until end game. Critical hits are double damage. So if you can land critical hits, you can boost your damage by quite a bit. And in the end game, it's very easy to get a very high rate of critical hits by capping your luck stat. Not 100% rate, but okay. We'll remove materia from the other party members, and we will equip Cloud. We'll go we'll put the poison elemental on his weapon. Give him a restore. And give him a group target nuke. Yeah, sounds about right. And then just throw some stuff on here to level it. Whoever has the lowest amount of AP, there you go. So I'm pretty sure these enemies are weak to poison, so should be interesting. This is kind of an annoying boss fight in the remake, but I'm pretty sure you can sleep Rufus in the remake. Yeah, so setting up that elemental materia didn't really help. I ain't gonna lie. Just cast poison. Should have put all on that poison. Make it group target poison, but that's what I normally do. Thought I would try something different, but it didn't work out. Pretty sure it just takes a couple of casts of bio to kill him. Well, it would be lame if I died here, so cure it up. Yep, just use bio. Bio is nice in the early game, but there's really not a lot of enemies weak to poison. Alrighty. He's out of here, and we are moving. Okay, so save here. It's gonna be a pretty cool scene coming up. Take care of this guy. So yeah, if you're one of those guys that really doesn't like to use magic, then you should really consider using magic in this game. Hopefully this game can turn you into a believer. Especially in the early game, magic is a lot stronger. Alrighty, so if you play the remake, this should look familiar. Also, before you leave, if you want to get that Turtles Paradise flyer, I think it's in the back. You can do so now. Once you trigger this cutscene, or this dialogue, and then I guess the subsequent cutscene, then you won't be able to come back here for a while, so you a cold man, just like someone else around here, I know. Alrighty. The bike minigame. So, this is a chance to set your party because at the end of the bike minigame there is a boss fight. And I'm gonna go with this setup for the boss fight. Alrighty. Doesn't really matter. I like having Eris because of her magic stat. The boss is weak to lightning, so go to the menu. So I guess we have to redo everything. Definitely want that lightning. I'm going to go with the elemental combination on Tifa's weapon. Cloud will be on permanent heal duty, as always. And then just throw a bunch of materia on Eris to boost her magic stat. Throw an all materia on there just to level it. Tifa's gonna go cover, and then if you want to go super optimal, put your characters, put Cloud and Tifa in the front, Eris in the back, because the fight will open up as a back attack. And give Eris a talisman. Increase her magic defense. Protect vest for vitality. There you go. That's how you set up. Now all you gotta do is get through the bike game. The bike mini game. So most people don't really like the controls for these mini games, although in my opinion they actually work fairly well. Now the only thing you really have to kind of keep in mind is that the enemies will move pretty fast, but Cloud will swing his sword kind of slowly, so you almost have to lead the enemies. I'm actually not doing that well. So the red bikes have a different AI than the orange ones. I think the orange ones attack the truck directly. The red ones will try to lead you away from the truck. But if you don't do that well, it doesn't really matter. The game does a good job of realizing that the game is not about your skill in these mini games. They're just there as a diversion, but success in the game doesn't really ride on being good at these mini games. The worst that happens is you start the boss fight with a little bit less HP. This was definitely a lot better paced than the bike minigame in the remake. That thing goes on and on. But that was short enough to be exciting. We'll also put Tifa in the Fury status. And Cloud can get to work. Ares can attack with lightning. Now I have Tifa set up with elemental fire, elemental lightning, but she can actually do more damage by just casting lightning. So even though her physical damage is lightning elemental, the problem really is that the weapons you obtain in Midgar are just too low damage. Once you leave Midgar, you immediately get to steal a weapon for Barett that's pretty good. But the advantage of having Tifa in the party is that she gets her limit break very quickly. And this boss has a lot of group target attacks. So Tifa's going to be getting hit, taking advantage of her limit break. And then Ares for massive damage. So I think that's the ideal setup for that boss fight. And you get another star pendant out of it. And that's the end of the Midgar segment in OG FF7. So it's gonna be another dialogue, and then I'll edit that out. So see you guys in a little bit. Alrighty, let's head out on our journey. Barett thinks that he would be the best party leader. But the others think that it should be Cloud. So we will go northeast to a town called Calm. It's quite a rationalization for having to split up into two parties. So when you leave Midgar, this is the optimal party setup. So that's what your party should be. You're gonna steal a weapon for Barett as soon as you leave Midgar. That will make his damage pretty good. He also has kind of a high HP pool, which will help him. It'll help him in a fight that's coming up very soon against the Midgar Zolom. And Ares is the best magic user in the group, and for the way I play, you'll want to unlock her limit breaks very quickly, especially before a certain something event happens, because she was very useful in the battle arena, especially in her higher level limit breaks. And you also want to use Barett in the early game to unlock his higher level limit breaks, because you won't be using him in the mid game, but he's really strong in the end game. So you could also just stop and grind all your limit breaks out, but I don't like to do that. I don't really like the grind, so you can actually just, if you didn't know, you could go to exchange and exchange the entire loadout between two characters by doing that, and then you can also just exchange a certain weapon or even the material equipped in Barett's weapon to Tifa's armor and so on. It's not just individual materia, so that's really handy. Aeris will have the enemy skill, and we will be stealing. Another thing we will do is we will make that fire element, and we will give Cloud a nuke. So these all materia are not going to be extremely useful. You'll see that we're going to learn an enemy skill as soon as we leave Midgar. That will make all materia not very useful, but you still want to level it, so just stick it in a slot and we'll journey to Calm. So these enemies can teach Aeris an enemy skill. They can also... Oh, there's the enemy skill. They also have an item to steal. So... let's see if we can steal it. Also... I have to stick Cloud back in the front row. The steal rate is kind of low though, so could be here for a while. Sometimes it's nice to go to Calm first, because you can buy steal materia in Calm. It's kind of nice to have steal on everybody. This makes life easier. Alrighty, got it. Alright, so that weapon that we just stole is for Barett, and it is actually not a long range weapon. In fact, half of Barett's weapons are not long range. It's called Atomic Scissors. You'll see that his damage will increase tremendously. Put Cloud back in the front row. Throw Aeris in the back. Alrighty. Follow everyone to the inn. Go upstairs. And get your popcorn out, because it's gonna be flashback time.